combinations are, as I said, are 35 crores of permutations and combinations. So I told our great mathematician, Mr. Jamin, to work it out. He said, impossible. Then he told me some number. Up to that we can do. But this is too much. How can you work it out? How many permutations and combinations there will be in 35 crores of your time?
350 million.
That's only, that's the basic point.
Yes.
See? But how many permutations and combinations out of that are active? And how they work it out? But only thing that the human beings have to do is to take it. This is the most difficult thing. Even if you have the best on this earth, what's the use if human beings are not going to turn their hands towards me? What can I do about it? Now all these permutations and combinations are fixed and very nicely done, and they work very fast. They're very quick. You have seen it. And they work all over the world, all over the universe. But this little brain here discovered something called as Mr. EGO, and it's very difficult for these little things to ask them to open it. It's very difficult for them. They find it impossible. And it is such a funny thing going on, see, that every time a river flows and the people have to fill the cups that have to open. Either they put the cup from the other way down, or they put some stones and say that we didn't get it. So this permutations and combination business is so tremendous that I wonder at myself sometimes how I speak with it. See, speak coherently with all this going on. You can imagine what must be the condition of a person. But for my sense of humor, I would not have existed very long, I can tell you. The amount of things I have to tolerate and the amount of foolishness and to which people come to and the way they behave, despite finding it out sometimes, and sometimes the way they question it, you see, then only thing I can do is to just laugh it out and use my sense of humor and be there and work it out. So, this is the big problem, and this problem is not so easy to solve. But some people do feel that sometimes, and they behave in a manner that makes me know that they know about it very well, and that's why they are so fragile. And I understand it very well. This is the effect of solitude. Do come in. So, now we are today going to tell you about collectivity. You must hear the first part of this is very interesting, that I have to the second part now. Now, collectivity is a thing is to be understood in a much deeper way than we all. See? First of all, in collectivity, when we say this body is a collective instrument made out of many cells, alright? Then what do we understand? That first thing is, in collectivity, we must realize that there is interdependence. We have to depend on others. Like, she has to depend on her, and she has to depend on him. But when it comes to ego, not only that it separates you from each other, that's not the only thing it does, but it teaches you not to be dependent on anyone. You have to depend on others. You have not to exploit others, but you have to depend on others, and others have to depend on you. First thing, very important. On this subject, I'll tell you a little more. Now, for example, there is one Mr. X and another Mr. Y, who are Sahajogis, and X and Y have to depend on each other. Say a position like that comes in. So, what should we do? We must try to find out the common point, first of all. If there is question of common point, it will never work out. So common point is, of course, you know that. There is a common point between both of them, that they have been seeking and they have got it through Sahaja, and that I am the person whom they think will resolve all the differences. So this is one common point. But the dependence between the two is to be prepared in a country where we know we are ego-oriented. First of all, when we try to depend on others, have we been able to create an atmosphere of dependence? Say, supposing, I do not want my son to stay in my house. So, how will I talk to my son? I will say, you're good for nothing, you're such a liability, you're all the time on my head, and you're troubling me such a way. Alright? Or, you cannot earn five pounds even. What are you talking? So he gets hurt. Alright, I will show you. So he goes out, and he'll dig holes, he'll do anything, he'll show his mother that he can earn money. See? And that's how he works it out. Isn't it? Another thing could be, simpler way, is to just throw him out. See? And then he should say, look at him, we are having bad relations. I mean, you have done everything that is possible to create bad relations. Now, it's just the fruit. I mean, when you work it out that way, what do you expect to happen? The simple thing is that you have bad relations. I mean, it's the whole thing is worked out. So what is the other thing one has to do? Is to prepare a ground. Now, how I would act if I want somebody to come to Sahaja, for example. I will find out what does he like to eat, what is he fond of, or is he an intellectual? Then I should try to tell him that I don't understand much, I have not read much, so that he feels all right with me, that she's all right, she's not an intellectual, there's no contradiction in that point, so it's all right. See, it's a trick, you see, I do it. So he comes in. Then when he gets realization, see, how two people can interdepend on each other after realization? You should see that supposing somebody is catching you. Alright? One way would be direct to tell, oh, you are catching on, we should get out, we don't want you, get out, you are horrid, we just can't wait. It's one way. Another is to say that, perhaps, I think I'm catching here, you should be, or are you catching? So prepare a proper seat for him in your heart. If you offer a seat in your heart, you see, half of his problems will disappear. Because he'll have confidence that he has confidence. Because he will feel that at last he has found out someone who understands. So the preparation should be more on this side, not on the other side of anybody who comes to give a punch. Just like this. You must have seen these boxers have a punch in the house, you see. And anytime they are passing by, they just try two hands on it. So, and if they are intellectuals, then they'll try such punches which will be very subtle and intelligent. But little bit, you see, put a little, what we call in the Indian language, a puljari, you see. Just put a little of a cracker, see. Just here and there. And he goes out and he finds the cracker just bursting out, you see. So all these tricks are self-destroying because you destroy your sense of watching, your own being. That is, how much are you disciplined in Sahaja Yoga? What are you doing for Sahaja Yoga? How much you are working it out? You see, I have seen in a group, I always play such tricks with you, which I must tell you. That if there's something, I will say, all right, now what are your suggestions? So from the suggestions, I know where you are. So I immediately know what's the position here. See? I'll take all the suggestions from you, of course, I do. But how much are executed? That only God knows. See? But, so the suggestions come in very seriously, and I find there is a lot of negativity. So it's better not to suggest much, because if you suggest, maybe you are a medium of negativity. So you first of all ascertain yourself how far you are, without feeling bad about it. Because collectivity is the place where you belong. You do not belong to this individual being that you are. You belong to collectivity. And that's why you have to be there. And to be there, you have to face all the time yourself and find out how far you are away from that collectivity. How far you are deciding things for yourself and not for the collective. You have to be very much on the alert, and this is the discipline you have to put on yourself. The trouble is, see, the discipline, if I tell you, get up at 4 o'clock, you make it. If I say shave off your heads, you can shave off. If I tell you shave off your eyebrows, you will shave off. If I tell you just stand before me for hours together, you will stand on your heads for hours together. If I tell you, you jump in the sea, you may jump. That's very easy discipline to do. Nothing so difficult. You can do that. But if I tell you, you have to be alert all the time within yourself to see that are you in collectivity? Are you doing something in collectivity or you are doing something for yourself? Do not deceive yourself at this point. Because deceiving yourself means you are deceiving your collectivity. Your chances of being in there, which is beyond, which you have achieved. So try to do something which is congenial, helpful to collectivity. As in people, just while talking to each other or in Sahaja Yoga, we just pass a remark at someone. Oh, we think we'll be very careful. See? No. You have dropped poison in the ocean of collectivity. Pour love, pour wisdom, pour understanding. Put your fragrance of goodness. Do things in good faith. People have faith in you. But they should not be shocked by the way we are. This is the discipline one has to bring. And this discipline, if you have within yourself, for that you don't have to do anything extracurricular or something very much hazardous. No. To be on the alert, to be on the watch on yourself. Am I there? Or am I doing it just to please myself or to please this ego of mine? Myself is all right, but this is the ego that one tries to pass. And that's why interdependence is very difficult. You see, if I tell you don't be interdependent, then you will do one thing, is not to borrow money, say from others. That's very easy. You will not borrow money. If I say return every money that you borrow, all right, you return every money, you'll keep all accounts perfectly. I know you can do that. And you can also have, all right, you paid 1p, all right, for 1p, 1.5, what you call, slice of bread, all right. You can do that. That you have done already. And that's not difficult for human beings. Equal distribution, absolutely perfect honesty about it is possible. That one can do. Is to have a complete idea of how to maintain this beauty of honesty among yourselves, that you do not depend. But I do not mean that interdependence. I mean must have not interdependence. Interdependence comes in very, very deep way. Now you are sitting down here. Now you know somebody is, for example, the naked person. Think of that person, is sitting for such a long time. Just get a chair. Just get a cushion for that person. Somebody's uncomfortable. Did you think about it? You are thinking, did you see that everybody is watching? Are they all right? Give others a place in your place. Give them a feeling that you are thinking about their body, about their problems. Like I've seen, when you love someone, then you know that happens, just to please. That also not so great, as just to think that person more than yourself. Then you detach yourself from your being. Have you been kind? Like this, there's so many things. In the night, have they got water to drink? All right, then you put little water for them. All these small, small things will become when you start loving. I'm going to be such a subject man. Now, should I take some thing that this person may like to have? A little bit, not much. This kind of feeling we should have all the time for others. Then interdependence. Then you'll be amazed that the other person will depend on you entire. Is not the uh, independence of earning or money or anything that is important to such a person. If you can give that much to another person, that person can give everything to you and will entirely depend on you. Do you know, I entirely depend on you. Do you know that? That my complete existence is there because of surgery. Otherwise I would be finished at this moment. Perhaps you do not know. I would not exist in this body if you people give me up. It's a fact which I must accept and which you must also agree. Because, see, now, if you do not take my vibrations, they will all be here frozen and become a frozen mummy. Only emitting vibrations, that's all. I won't be speaking. It happens now. See, the left navi is just now untouching this coming heart. You have to take out my vibrations. If you do not take my vibrations, I am not going to exist anymore as a human being walking the sea. And as something else maybe, but not as a human being as a sea. I'll be just frozen. If you do that to me, imagine how much I should owe to you. I mean, my existence is because of you. Perhaps you do not know that. Do you know that I'm here on this earth only because of you? Otherwise, I would have been very happy somewhere else. Just up. But then also you must know that as I depend on you, you also depend on me. But more I depend on your collectivity. The moment you start becoming unaware of your collectivity, immediately cancer starts going in my body. I get physical troubles because of that. So the collectivity is not what you think of yourself to be something great. It's not that you are above everything and you are this and all that. How much you have done to enhance the collectivity of understanding of love. Because say, if this hand doesn't know this hand, then what do? If we are a living body, just think of it. I mean, if I do not know my one eye to another eye, if there is no connection, what will happen? And when you do all this, it becomes a funny personality out of me, you see. I don't know how to manage myself. So, to sustain this interdependence, you must learn to depend on. Now coming to the practical side of it, I've already told you to think all the time of another person in a loving manner, not in a criticizing manner, not seeing to the loopholes of the person. See your loopholes and another person's greatness. I mean, some people are real attribute, what we call the drags. See, drag it off. Some people are like that. But they drag you with boredom. Sometimes. Because they'll talk about, oh, this happened, then my mother said so, then my father said so, my grandfather said so, then my auntie said so, I was coming, there was a sweeper who did this and that. All round yourself. It's very boring. Just thinking about yourself, then you are not thinking of collective. But a person who is collective is the most interesting person. The one who is not that way, he may think himself to be something great. So make him think. But he's not interested. He's extremely boring and people are not interested. The reason is he's not collective, he's not auspicious. So to become collective, you have to watch yourself. That is the biggest. Now I would say for that collective meditation is very good, which you have already experimented without my being there. Go say, I'm so happy you've done it because that's what it was. And collective thinking. Now when 10 people sit together and are thinking collectively, it should move like one force. Even the water, which is a dead thing for all practical purposes, it runs towards the slope, isn't it? Or does some water run upward? I mean, it has one swabhava. It has one style of thinking. In the same way, Sahajogis all must run towards God, towards Sahajoga, towards collectivity. How can they run upward? There is no individual working on this point. Once you start doing that way, you are doing just the opposite of what you should be doing. Then they'll say, Mother, why? We are not good. We have been working for so many days. It doesn't work out. This is the problem. If you are in the collectivity, even if you are not so good, you will be pulled into it. Now what happens is such a vicious circle that when you are not alright, you will always oppose that force. Or you create some sort of a silly situation. Or you will bring out silly proposition. Or something like that, you see. Like a boulder inside the flowing water. So you find little waters backwards. And the suggestions from negative people will be always negative or no use. So if there is negativity within us, better to keep quiet. That is the biggest way to work it. Better to keep quiet. If you have negativity within you, better to keep quiet. Try to remove the negativity. Because if you do not try to do that, they act as mediums. And they can use you as mediums, and you become a medium of Satan instead of God. There you become very collective, there's a big fraternity among them. But after realization, it's right, it should be much more. But it is not, because there's lots of mud sitting on the lotus which has come on us. But when the lotus is higher up, the fragrance is evident. All the lotus in the beautiful pond emit the same fragrance and indescribable. Nobody goes and says that the fragrance is from one. They say it is the lotus lake. The whole lake is named after the lotus. Imagine. The lake becomes smaller than the lotus itself. That kind of fragrance of love should flow between you. And such excitement and joy should be among yourselves. Then the collectivity. Now, for that, you must know that you have to have self-preservation also. It's very important. Like, you say you are 10 surgeries right? So you must strengthen your style of yourself. And you must have sense of self-preservation against others. Now see, somebody outsider is coming. Then you all should immediately come together and form a nice club of your own. See? Then the other person comes. With all this force, he will be dragged into it. But as soon as he says anything against any one of you, you all jump on him. So he will know they are all one. But normally you will find if somebody comes in like that, possibly you may join the other fellow who is no good, who is going to create a problem between us. So there is a possibility. So remember, when facing others, you are all one. Among yourselves, you can. But facing others, you should know that they are the people who are still away from us. So this is the self-preservation, which is very important we should have. And the self-preservation of Sahaja Yoga is to be preserved in its purest form. This is very important responsibility on you people, because future Sahaj Yogis may not see, but you have seen, and you know what is the truth is. You see, the way we have lived a very pure life in pure Sahaj Yoga, absolutely above all kinds of nonsensical things. In the same way, the people who are going to come after you also must be in the same way, in the same fashion. So you have to make a very pure relationship and a pure club among yourselves, by which the people who are going to follow the progeny which is going to come is going to say, this is what is inside. So the self-preservation also means the preservation of Sahaj Yoga in its purest form. Now I am here living for it. If you have any problem, you want to know about it, whether it should be done or not, you can ask. Clarify it. But do not accept anything because Mr. X, somebody told you this, Mr. Y told you, nothing of the kind. Never do like that. You ask. Do not quote anyone else. Even that person may be a surgeon. I must warn you on this. Never confuse each other. That somebody said so, or another person has said so, or someone said so. No. If you are doubtful, ask, verify. And quote it only when you have verified. Quote is very important because you are the foundation stones of surgery. And you have to be, every one of you have to be perfect. So that this huge, big mansion is not going to come. Because of it. There should be no weakness left in you. That's why it is important to understand that self-preservation, preservation of Sahaj Yoga, the principles of God's laws, all must be preserved. Do not formulate your own laws. Do not try all these tricks. Try to understand His laws. Try to understand how He works. Try to be one with Him and obedient, and do not try your own tricks about it. If you find out something, you can always ask. And then again verify, and because that is also possible. People have done horrible things in it, which I cannot tell you what they have gone up to. And they became absolutely satanic. They started doing all kinds of nonsensical things. So be very careful on this point of preserving Sahaj Yoga in its purest. So the third thing is that you all have to be homogeneous. Homogeneous. Unless and until you people are homogeneous, Sahaj Yoga is not going to work. You see, when, as I have told you, facing with another person, you all should feel the same. Now I've seen sometimes it happens that say there are 10 Sahaj Yogis and say one of them is not good at that point, who can ask? He should keep quiet in all sense and discipline. If he doesn't know, then he should keep quiet. He shouldn't talk about it. But he shouldn't say, oh, no, I do not know, just now I'm confused. No. Before others. Because they'll think that how can there be secrets? You see, if there is something wrong, it's your family, it's your own move, it's yourself. So the reputation, the image of your Sahaj Yogi and Sahaj Yoga depends on it. You see, supposing if my sari has a little spot somewhere here, I would like to cover it. Why spoil the whole sari? Show it to the sari. In the same way, if you have any negativity, anything, don't try to spoil it. Because others will see that and will believe in it and will think that, oh, there's something wrong. So you have to be homogeneous. Anything you say, all of you should say same thing. Otherwise, I've seen even people, when there are others sitting, even Sahaj Yogis will stand up and ask them questions. In the Caxton Hall, also some Sahaj Yogis will stand up and ask me questions. Having no other place to ask me questions. When 50% of people are new, you just ask a funny question there. That means you have not yet identified yourself as such. It's your own family, it's your own reputation, it's your name. You have to keep it afloat. Because you have certain sinking things, you should not sink the whole boat or create a hole in it. Because this comes out of a uh, sense of being something significant. See, like people put holes in their noses or in their cheeks to show that they have some significance. You have no significance when you are sitting there. Only God has the significance in you. You say the same thing all of it. Your significance is only great because you are dynamic people who are transforming that dynamic force to the ordinary. That is your significance. So be proud of that significance than of this petty, useless significance by which you try to show off you something very special, or you can find out some very big point to ask questions. In this Sahaja Yoga program, when we are sitting like that, you must ask questions. No doubt. You must ask. If there are problems, after all, I am here to listen. But not when others are there. Others are others, till they have joined us. We are all one. And we are not to question each other. We are not to misunderstand each other. But we have to unite more and more force. But just the opposite happens. You have seen that. Sometimes it is so embarrassing, I don't know what to say. Then I say that, look at your left navi, or look at your right navi, or look at your agya or something, and make the person sit up. You see, question asking is not a good thing in Sahaja. Most of your questions I answer. But still there are questions you must ask. But the madder you are, the mad questions you ask. Like today, I must say Simon the Great, he telephoned to me. First question he asked in a big temper, he said, Mother, did you ask Philippa that I should not telephone to you? I said, I did. I'm sorry for that. But you telephoned too many times. It's disturbing. And that's why I've asked you. But I wanted to find out how far you are settled down by telling her this. And I think you're better. You're not so furious as you would have been. So, calm down. Then, second question comes, Mother, what about this Kalaki? When is he coming? Who is he? What is the thing? You know, all that. And how can you say that? This is on the phone, you see. And he talked to me for at least 15 days on this. So you know who is mad. He is a confirmed mad. And any one of you who does that, means there's something wrong with you. So when is the new era is going to come? When is Kalki coming? Then what? Is it important? When others are sitting before that, is it important to discuss it? Diverting the attention, If whole thought is flowing, all the people there in one direction. Suddenly, one of the Sahaja Yogis gets up, with a big poster in the hand and says, No, Maharaj, see. I don't think that is a sign of maturity in Sahaja. Maturity in Sahaja Yoga is when Mother is speaking, put full attention to it and try to take all that force within yourself, because you are like channels. And you are channelized it. And it is you who are going to give it to others. I am not going to give it. Through your channels I am going to give it. So the channels have to receive on one end and give. But if the channels start asking questions, what am I to do? So it should be homogeneous. Means you must know that we are all one, moving with one force. That is collectivity. As soon as you find out that too much arguments, get out of it. In a sign, definitely, there's some sort of evil spirit. There should be no analysis, there should be no argument, there should be no explanations, but thinking in a very homogeneous manner, as if one brain is for one common goal. Itself is a very dynamic thing. You see, as destructive forces are dynamic when they use separation, and the divine forces are dynamic when they use complete integration. And integration also one has to understand that it is complete oneness of all your good qualities together. They are all working together, just like one person. Everybody is giving one's own best to work it out and not to feel jealous of others. It's something so low level for a Sahaja Yogi to do, is to feel jealous, is to feel competitive. Because there is nothing like that. We are all one body. I told you, I cannot exist without you. If I am the brain, you are the body. If I am the heart, you are the heart. So I cannot exist without you. In the same way, you cannot exist without you. And those who try to do that kind, you see, like nails which outgrow, we cut them out in the way they will be thrown out. So there's more intelligence, more wisdom, I would say cleverness in understanding that you are living now in a higher life. You are talking of a higher life, and for that you have to equip yourself. You will be only there through collectivity. If you leave the collectivity, you are out of it. As I always I've given you a very nice thing is that when you have to make the butter, you churn yogurt. The churning goes on, and the whole thing becomes a mixture. Then you take out a little butter and put it inside. That's like me coming in, all right? And all the particles of butter will start gathering down that ground. And they are all sort of taken away from that mixture. But some of them stick on to the pot, or stick around. They are never used as butter. They are thrown away with the rest of the water that is. So those who start thinking of doing something special, individualistic or something great about themselves, they should know they will have no place in Sahaja. I'll find out ways and methods of throwing them out. I've done it many times, how people have been thrown. And that's why Sahaja Yoga does not spread that fast, because there is a big seeding going on. All of you have to be homogeneous. Those who strive discord, or those who try to have their own say, their own methods, are the people who will be thrown out of Sahaja automatically. So try to be homogeneous. When you give some suggestions, try to suggest a person through meditation, through prayers, through vibrations, through bandhans. Do not directly. And best way is to tell them. If you have any problem, it can be solved. But do not try to solve your problems yourself, which are difficult for you, whichever are smaller. All of you put together, you can solve the problem much better. So, with all this, you have to remember that those who criticize Sahaja Yoga are outsiders. Who try to find loopholes are outsiders. You must find them out. It's easy to find them out when they talk from little things they say here and there. You must know that these are outsiders. Still they are outsiders. They may not be meaning, but try to correct it. Tell them that collectivity means absolutely pure understanding of one thing, that is you.
Beyond us, forces beyond us which control. And the forces beyond us which control us, he called them as universal unconscious. Unconscious because they are not in our conscious mind. And he called them as also as he actually did not know how to name it. So he said that he has said it is the mother's force. It's the motherly force. Very clearly he said. And he studied Indian literature and all that. And he has developed some thought on Shakti cult also. So he has used the word Shakti for the universal unconscious. But still, he was just a realized soul. There was no mother to tell him all about what it was. So he could only indicate and tell you that there is an universal unconscious which is guiding you. He experimented with people with their dreams. There's a very famous story which he interpreted about a man who would always dream that he has to bow to his own son. His son is sitting on a pedestal and he has to bow to his son. Now the son might be a realized secret. So he came to him and he said, I don't know why I get such a dream. So Jung asked, what is your relationship with your son? He said, it's very, very bad. I said, why? He said, his mother is dead, I'm married again, and my wife is very angry with him, and I really don't know how to manage it. The relationship is gone very bad. So he said, the unconscious is telling you that you must bow to him. He is of a higher awareness, so you must bow to him. It is giving you a balance. So there was another girl who came to him with a dream. Just to put two dreams together actually. It said that I see my mother as a witch. So he asked the girl, what is your relationship with your mother? He said, it's very fine, very good. She actually pampers me. She has pampered me so much that I am just good for nothing. He said, that is the thing is coming to you from your unconscious to suggest that your mother is a witch who is spoiling your soul. And there are 1,001 like that. You see, there are so many volumes of words which you can read for yourself. So the psychologists have told us that the state of human awareness would reach at a point when he will be thoughtlessly aware. He will be aware, but there won't be any thought. This is said by you who was a psychologist. So we should know what we have to expect. Now there's another source which is very clear and very, very vivid, which we can understand are the scriptures. If you read John's Revelation, you can read about all. You will know that the cool breeze is to be expected. If you read Shankaracharya, of course, I need not go much more because he's the one who has completely exposed the whole thing in the 6th century. This knowledge was a secret knowledge before that because the evolutionary forces had not taken its proper course. It was kept a secret knowledge, a guarded knowledge for very few. Only in the 6th century he started exposing it, then Kabira, then Nanaka. All these people came out with full exposition of Kundalini. The greatest work done on Kundalini was in Maharashtra, where Nathpati, the 9 Nathas, the primordial masters they call themselves, worked on it. And also in other places, they also came from Punjab. There was a big rapport between Punjab and Maharashtra. And they went into the forest, meditated, and religiously tried to find out what was Kundalini, what was the force, what was the seed within us, what was the germinating force that is going to give us this. Because one or two were realized whenever they talked about realization, nobody could believe them and could understand that there is a force like that. And they said, oh, please keep us, we are happy with ourselves. Moreover, the people who were realized had such bad experiences of all these people, like they were beaten up, crucified, they were poisoned. I mean, imagine the people. What was there to crucify Christ? I still can't understand. So the very sensible people of this world looked at all these explanations about God and divinity with that kind of a hostile attitude. And there was no way of changing this attitude of these people. And this hostility was expressed even by religious organizations. You see, anybody who was a realized soul was thrown away from churches, from temples. These Brahmins killed them. They tortured them. The last one that we had was the Shirdi Sai Baba. And if you see how the Brahmins from Nagar area, from Ahmednagar, how they tortured him, you will be surprised. Not only that, but they brought a snake charmer with a snake to kill. But he got hold of the snake and he talked to the snake. The snake went away and bit the charmer. Then he was the one who got up and saved the charmer. And he told him, don't do all this. He said, I would not, but these Brahmins have given me money. So the people who were supposed to be in charge of religion themselves crucified those saints who talked of reality. And that's how Reality was completely blinded. Nobody could see it and people were gagged. This was the problem. And that's why somebody had to come and do this to give a mass realization to ego so that it becomes a common knowledge. Everything that is discovered by one person has to become the common knowledge, otherwise it has no meaning. Even in the science, you see, you find out about electricity. It has a big history behind it, whatever it is. But at a point, it has to become a common knowledge. If it is not a common knowledge, it will never be accepted and it has no value at all. It has to become a knowledge of every human being, otherwise it has no meaning. And the time has come for you to have the actualization and to have the complete knowledge of your being. What you are going to be, what you could have been, what are the problems around. So in us is placed the germinating force. We are all built in it. It's like a computer. Absolutely living computer within us is placed through our evolution. One by one, step by step. All these points have been properly put down in our backbone, in our brain, and in the limbic area. Absolutely in a perfect way. And only thing that one has to do is to surrender. Accept. But we surrender to all kinds of nonsensical things, but to the right person, our ego will immediately stand up. See? If somebody has two horns, it is very easy to surrender. Or if somebody is very cunning, very easy to surrender. But where do you surrender? It's to the divine force, to yourself, to your wisdom. What do you surrender? Is your nonsensical, idiotic ego. What do you have to surrender to God? What do you have? Only this non-knowledge which has come to you through ego, or sometimes through these possessions, which is the super ego. Now for surrendering, people think, how can I surrender? Now you cannot think about it. How should I surrender? Can you work it out on a paper? I will do this, x plus x is equal to so much. It's very simple. How do you love? Do you sit down and make a picture now? I'm going to love my child. So I will make a lap with this much angle and this much angle. Bring the baby there at this angle. Look at her with this angle. Then I'll turn left, right, and then again I'll put the child this side. Do you do like that? You know how to love, don't you? It's built in. Surrendering is nothing but is the love of God that is within. He is within you in your heart. He is there. All the scriptures have said that, and none of them are wrong or false. They might have misinterpreted somewhere else. Everybody has played tricks, you see. Our tantrikas in India, all these who are nowadays gurus, were tantrikas once upon a time in the 6th century. They entered into all kinds of things. And the worst thing they entered into are the Vedas themselves, you see, where they declare that even a thing like Ashwamedha Yajna, which is a very pure thing, is also oriented from sex. What do you say to that? Even they said that the God and the goddess, the God and his power, are sex relationships. I tell you, they think human beings are nothing but sex points. They have nothing else in them. Even an amoeba has something more than that. But we accept them. Why? Because we are seekers. We are simple. And we are seekers. We are born in this world to seek. We have taken our birth, especially at this time, to seek. We have been seekers all our lives. And today we want to seek. And how are we going to seek? Wherever we get a chance, we run to it. I know It is hard to understand that you don't have to do anything, just sit right. The boat is moving and it will take you to the other end. You don't have to do anything. It was going to work out if the whole tree has to match. Now, the flowers are there, they attract the bees. The bees come at the right time, they blossom at the right time, and also the fruits appear at the right time. It has to match. It has to take its own course and time. The way you are built in, the way you are made, it has to complete itself. So the another round starts. And that's why this hurrying up has get into trouble. That's all. Nothing more than that. And it is very easy to correct. There's no problem about it. It's very easy. Because once you have light within you, you will start seeing everything very, very clearly. Because there is no light, it becomes so difficult. Have you tried climbing up steps without lights in a new house, which you have never been? 3 times you fall down before you get over one landing. But if there is light, whatever type of the house may be, wherever you have been, you can just go up like that. In the same way, unless and until you are enlightened, unless and until you are realized, unless and until you have that power flowing through you, you cannot understand it. And you cannot see that how simple it is. And you are so beautifully built in your previous birth that once you get this awakening within you, you start awakening others. Immediately, and you can start it on somebody else. But you see, just now it's such a powerful thing that most of them have got it. So I don't know where I'm going to try. So that's the problem. Most of them have got it. See, sometimes it happens like that. So whom are we going to raise now? But then everybody's realized. She's got it too. You see, that's the problem. That it is so powerful. But you find that it will settle down again. It has to go back because we have got chakras within us, the centers, which are being exhausted. Like I would say, now this side is the left side and this is the right side. And both sides are the sympathetic nervous system. The right side, sympathetic nervous system, works for your mental being and for emotional being. Mental being and for your physical being. And the left side for your emotional being. In between is the central part, the parasympathetic. Now, the underlying subtle energies that control these two, left and right. The left one is controlled by the power which we call as Mahakali's power, which is I. Then the Reem and the Kli. The Reem is the central power, Ra. Ra is energy. Reem is the one which gives you evolutionary powers and also sustenance. Like carbon has its own sustenance, and like gold has its own sustenance, as you have your own sustenance. Everybody has the sustenance through this central power of Reem, is the power of Mahalakshmi. And the right hand side power is the power of Mahasaraswati. Now you shouldn't get upset with the Sanskrit name. It has nothing to do with any particular community or anything, because these were found out by saints who were meditating in India and they know Sanskrit language. That's why there are Sanskrit names. Moreover, these names also. Science, you see, has developed here, but also in India a kind of a science developed. And the science that was developed in India was the science of Kundalini. It's the force of the germinating power, the residual power within us. And this science has seen or has actually experimented with the movement of the Kundalini when it moves, the sound it makes. And these sounds are different on different centers within us, which are 7 basics, but there are 11 otherwise, and there are 3, how much is it? 350 million. Alright? So this is the thing. 350 million. But we deal only with 7, at the most with 11. Not more than that. because it's too much offending. So why should you worry? You need not worry. Now, you are sitting in this room, it's all right, perfectly well. Why should you worry from where this electricity has come? And from how many drops it must have taken to create this much of electricity? Is it from the water or from the coal? Or what is the history? Who is bothered? You just put on the light and enjoy. They have done it for you. It's all done. In this also you must take it for granted, that it's all done for you and you have every right to have it. So this Kundalini, when it passes through all these various chakras, it makes a sound. And that sound has been taken by those people in the ancient days as the phonetic sounds for forming the Sanskrit language. That's why Sanskrit is used for controlling the Kundalini, the movement of the Kundalini. And the centers that are within you have got a mark, a landmark of your evolution. For example, the leaders who came at different stages of your evolution were actually the incarnations of divine power, and they have left a mark within you and they exist within you at that particular center. So when you say a particular mantra, that deity opens up and starts emitting energy. But still, human being without realization is a limited energy. His deities have limited energies. But if he is put in connection with the all-pervading power through realization, then his deities are also met. Like if you have a car and you have a limited petrol, all right? And the petrol shortage is there too. Then you are put into tension and you do not know what to do. But supposing there is a permanent pipe on your cap of the petrol tank, see, which is filling it permanently, then you don't have any tension. You are not bothered. What is exhaustion? Now this exhaustion on all the centers, because these are the underlying forces of all the plexuses that we have outside. When they get exhausted, the plexuses that are acting, our body, our mind, our thinking, our emotional activities, all of them get exhausted, and then we develop diseases of various types: physical, mental, emotional. So, to make these centers awakened is a very important thing, even from a day-to-day lifestyle. Like you must fill them up, you must awaken them so that at least your health is all right, your wealth is all right, your mind is all right, and also your emotions are all right. This is the basis. But ultimately, what do you get? Ultimately, you get that connection, which is all the time. Not only that much. Like, unless and until you get this connected to the mains, you cannot work it out. It may be very nicely made, what to do with it. So the first thing is, put it to the mains. When you put it to the mains, then only you will realize also where is the problem. Otherwise, you will not know. But when you get your self-realization, you know your problems within yourself. This is the first thing. That is self-realization. You know your centers, how they are affected, where they are affected, what is the problem there, and you get the power to cure them. Of course, thoughtless awareness is there, no doubt. But plus that, immediately, a person whose Kundalini has crossed Agya, only Agya, may not even get realization, can cure us. That's how we have half-baked curing people. So mostly then they get possessed and they get spiritualists. So their Kundalini only rises up to Agya, and some spirit comes into them, they become spiritualists. But you people, even if it crosses Agya, immediately you can start curing people. When it crosses Prastana. This point, the last point. Then you enter into that area or into that subtle awareness which is all pervading. Just now we think that you are different, she is different, But there's a thread passing through. If your attention becomes that thread, then you can pass into anyone. That's how, though you know yourself, you know your problems, everything, you also know others immediately. That is what is the collective consciousness, about which Jung also has indicated. So you have to expect collective consciousness. That is an actualization. That is that your consciousness, your awareness gets that dimension in actual form that you become. To explain it, I will tell you. Like animals walking through dirt and filth never feel any dirt or filth. They cannot see beauty, but we can. We cannot walk through dirt and filth. Our awareness is very different from that of animals. In the same way, when you become this, then your awareness becomes so beautiful that you start feeling the sin. You start feeling the wrong. I don't have to tell you, you will not just do it. I don't have to tell you, automatically. You started feeling what is good for you and what is bad. Say our Rustam has not come. I never tell don't drink like the Muslims do. No, I do nothing. You go ahead. Have cancer, have everything nicely, then come to me. Have your liver absolutely shattered, be a drunken fellow, then you come to me. Alright, doesn't matter. Then the realization takes place. Immediately the priorities change with you. Absolutely. You'll be amazed. I've seen people who have been terrible drunkards. They said, Mother, we can't drink. I said, what happened? We vomit. Same thing happened with Rustam. He started vomiting. And he couldn't take, you see, I never told him. Then you just enjoy something else, because if you get the nectar of life, then you don't run after frivolous things. Useless things. Your dignity becomes different. You become different. It's entirely different. Your sense of enjoyment is so different. You become really beautiful flowers. And the fragrance people can see from a distance, even from a telephone. It's so dynamic. And that is what it should happen to you. For that, what should you do? People say, Mother, what should you do? Nothing, just ask. You have to ask. You have to knock at the door. That's all. Even if you do not knock, your mother is going to knock at your doors. She's very persuasive. She will come to your house, make you comfortable, she'll massage your body, she'll massage your head, and she'll massage your back and work on you, and she'll see to it that she brings you up. She has too much patience. And you'll be amazed that if I'm tired, I feel better when I really do that. Like Patricia came once, she said, Mother, you do so much for us, you've done so much. And I must do something for you. I said, what can you do? She said, I'm very good at massaging the feet. I said, all right, do it. She was massaging my feet and her feet were massaged. And she couldn't understand it. And she was feeling relaxed, she was massaging my feet. I said, what's happening? She said, Sir, surprising. I'm getting relaxed while I'm massaging your feet. So that's what it is. That you must know that you cannot give me anything. I'm here to give and you are there to take. That's your right to take and you have it. It's your own. It's like a mother who loves you such a lot and she has such a lot of property. Everything is yours. Just take. Just have it. See, the greatest pride for any mother should be that she sees her children thrive on her power. And then they achieve their own power. And render it to others also. And they become the joyous, happy, blissful children. That's the way I see my dreams. And I'm sure the time has come for its fulfillment. I'm sure of it. I had to come to London, and they will have lots of Sahaja Yogis in India. India is a place, it's full of good vibrations, no doubt, because we have had great things coming to India, even Christ was there. But it's like where you have a teeth, you don't have food to eat, and where you have food to eat, you don't have teeth. Like that is the situation. While here you are the saints, are born in this country, and you are misguided. And there we have people who are not seeking, and they have the vibrations. This is the dilemma of society. They think, so many of them think that you people are seeking because you are upset with too much of machine-oriented society. That's all. The thing is more, your seeking is more like a remedy for ills that you have got. They do not think that you are seeking something so deep, and that there is a seeking of love. They do not understand. But in India also, I must say Sahaja Yoga has clicked very fast. And once the fire has started working, going very fast. And how sometimes it was, it's so interesting that you really forgot it, Like in Delhi, we had a program of opening this book, releasing this book for the first time. And they said, this is too much for me, how will I manage? Yeah, I've never done that sort of a thing. They said, no, mother, you have to just give a lecture, that's all. You think it's a yoga program, then we look after the rest of it. So the President of India, he was somehow cured by me and all that, and so they wrote to President of India, he was now. Luckily he never turned up, it's a very good idea. So they said, mother, we can't get him, so why not you become the president then? I said, if you think I'm alright, I don't mind becoming the president. And the whole press was there, and all the members of parliament, everybody very critical, and all of them came. Can you imagine? We had taken they were taking a hall for 200 people. I said, no, just take for 800. I said, will it fill up? I said, you just take for 800 minimum. And all these people came. I don't know with what ideas they came there. But there was no place, even in the passages, to move. People are sitting in the passages. So I said, look at this new face coming up. And I said something which I've never said before. I have used a lot of tact in this life of mine, because people don't want to hear anything. Like Christ, what did he say? That I am the light, I am the path, which he was. This is not egoistical, is it? Do you think so? I mean, if you are something, now, if I am Nirmala, I should say I am Nirmala. Is it egoistical? Like Krishna said, Sarvadharmanam parityajya mamekam sharanam. You have all these dharmas, all these religions. He doesn't mean the religion within, but what he's saying, that all sorts of sustainers that you are observing. Just come to me, surrender to me, so that you go beyond all these. Was he egoistical? But he was very tactful. He didn't tell the master. He told only to Arjuna. Nobody else. But somebody who had an eye and ear to hear that heard it and wrote it down. But Krishna never told it to the master. No. Christ did that. And what did you do to him? He didn't do any harm, did he? Just for this sentence. So I was extremely tactful. I'm very elusive by nature. So don't be taken up by my words of darkness. was pondering. I'm elusive, that's the only way I can approach you. People have tried all sorts of things, like Krishna's, you can say, diplomacy, then Christ's sacrifices. Now mine is the style of elusive. Because if I were not, it would not come here. First of all, I must appear just like you, which I do not so much sometimes, but most of the time I do. And I should be thinking just like you. Absolutely. And you will never know. In your hearts of hearts, you may know. But the illusion will be all the time maintaining so that you receive it fully, completely, and you master it without feeling any awe about me. You have to be absolutely free with it. Absolutely free. And I assure you all the protection of it. Everything that you have to tell me, you can tell me. Everything that you want to know, you should know. And the most secret things, which are regarded as the secrets of secrets, I am going to tell you, which even the greatest saints of India do not. They cannot raise the Kundalini the way, say, Douglas can raise, or say, Pat can raise, or Govind can raise. They cannot do it. Just by raising your hands, you can raise Kundalini. And they are quite jealous of you. They asked me also, Mother, why have you done such favor to these people? Who are they? I said, they are my being, myself. They are me. And they're quite surprised the way you can manifest your powers. I hope this great country, England, which I have said again and again, is the heart of the universe. You must understand heart. Has to stand up for reality and has to fight the stand so that you prepare for the advent of the last terrible one who is going to come with his 11 destructive powers and just going to sort it out. And there is no persuasion, no realization, no knowledge, nothing to sort it out. Before that, you have to save all your friends, save all the people, and salvage them. And you are the warriors. You are the people who are going to do it. I am just in the background. I don't do anything. I talk, that's all. May God bless you. Regarding the different deities, have you got one of these things here? No. And the centers and all those things you haven't got?
I've got some literature, and a little.
Which one?
The little printed ones.
So just show them what literature you have. Now you can get those secular styles and all that, and you can see for yourself what are the centers and how they are represented on your fingers. When you are realized, you can start feeling it. For example, these children had cold, you see, so I started feeling burning on the right hand finger. Not that I feel, but you would start. So you've been feeling all through with the cold the children had, and it's working out. This is the center of vision. And when there is cold, you feel it. On the right hand is the physical, as I said. On the left hand, it is that the person feels guilty. Mostly he may be a Catholic. It's very interesting, to find out about people. And you are amazed when you discover it. Like Gavin, one day, he was worried about his father that he's not written any letter to him. Why do you worry? Just see the vibrations. This is telecommunication, absolutely. So he said, Mother, I'm getting heat here. I said, that's your father. He said, this is all father, this is your mother. I said, all right. So, he's got something wrong with his bronchus. Must be bronchitis or something. So he rings up home, and the mother says that, you see, father has had very bad bronchitis, he's down with bronchitis. We saw even Nixon going into problems, you see. We could see him long time back before it happened, you see. A person may appear to be very great, a very big thing, you just put your hand, now you will know that sort of a fellow. Your vibrations will immediately stop. Or you get tingling, sometimes burning, sometimes even blisters. It's that bad. You yourself, you are the instrument, you are the one who diagnoses, you are the one who cures. This is the power of self-realization. Is there any question?
Yes. What? I got thousands of questions now as well.
That's fine.
I got thousands, but what you're talking about, how Peter and in Tell Me a Little Bit About You, what is the relationship between the self-realization that you are able to give almost immediately and enlightenment in the sense of being free from the wheel of karma? Do you see what I mean? That
Enlightenment what?
well, in the sense of being free from the wheel of karma. Do you see what I mean?
Immediate release. What is karma? See, this is also a theory you must understand. What is the karma? Karma, who does the karma? Is your ego. What karmas do you do? Nothing. It's your ego that gives you the sense that you are there. You don't do anything whatsoever, I can tell you this. It's the ego within you which does it. Now the ego is here, like this. You see, rises from the right goes like that. And the super ego is like that. When the kundalini rises, both are sakta. And your attention is above the ego. Then you laugh at it. Oh, Mr. Napoleon, how do you do it? The karmas are dissolved because you have no ego. It's like this, very simple. Is say, when the sun is on the side, you can see your shadow. Alright? But when it comes on your head, the shadow disappears in you. Something very simple.
But one is sort of when you read, well, in the scriptures, because the way the scriptures don't have any information. One is sort of led to believe that this is something that
That's how they must do it. You see, all of them are like that, thugs.
Yeah.
So what they have to believe, they have to make you believe into something. You see, otherwise, how are they going to say why you don't get it? Is that your karma? Then why are you there? See what I would say, that what are you doing there collecting our money? Simple question. You see, if it is our karmas by which we are suffering, you are the one who are cleansing. There's one very wonderful one in Bias. He said, I take only 1 upon 100 and something of your karmas. I said, why this mathematics? Why not the whole of it? And then he says, you see, for the rest of it you have to work hard. And what is working hard is service. What is service? Big trunks, see? And there's a big, what you call, piggy bank. See? Pigs like that. And the piggy bank. It's a service. And people from all over the world come there for that service and that cleansing work. You see the befooling of it.
Could we also put it another way around? That you said earlier something about we come to you, as it were, for salvation. Is it that in the past we have done something to, shall we say, merit coming to you? Is it like that? Because it seems it's almost too easy, you know. Do you see what I mean?
But should it be difficult?
Well, no. But
Now I'll tell you one thing, very simple. See, your breathing is so easy, isn't it? Did you consult any book or did you find out about karma?
Well,
Because it is so important for you.
yeah.
In the same way, your evolution is very important. If you are not evolved, the creation will have no meaning. It has to be the simplest of all. Sahaja.
Yeah.
It's spontaneous. How can it be difficult? Just think of it. It has to be the easiest.
But I'm not don't let people off lightly. But the thing is, I've always felt that if my life is difficult, it's because I've done things wrong in the past, which have made it like that.
You see now.
It seems unlikely that my life is suddenly going to change.
Oh, this is an old trick. They have tried with everyone. Like your priest telling you, come and confess something. Now those who have not done anything, what are they going to confess? So then why not something? I must have done something, otherwise I have to face the priest, what am I to tell him? Then ultimately the priest lands up in the lunatic asylum also. You go and tell him, I confess, all nonsense. Nonsense. It's like in India, you see, we had the priest coming to a village, you see, and he started teaching them about Pushchaya. When he was going, the head of the village, you see, didn't know how to thank. He said, sir, we are thankful to you for visiting our village. You have really enlightened us. Because we did not know what was sin, now we know what is sin. It's like that, you see.
Yes.
For this enlightenment, only in modern times you have to pay. It's so simple. They have done the difficult work. Christ has done it for you. Already. What sin can you commit, my child? Which is greater than the love of God? Tell me one.
The thing is that if things do go a bit wrong for one, if things do tend to go a bit wrong, if one can somehow say, well, it must be my fault in the past, then you don't feel bad towards anyone else. Whereas if you feel that you're blameless and things still go wrong, you tend to blame other people, or at least, you see what I mean?
You see,
It's better to get yourself into a situation where you're in the wrong, where you're blaming other people.
You see, we are like this. Either we destroy others or destroy ourselves. Must we do that? We need not destroy others and destroy ourselves also. We are neither guilty, nor we are putting guilt on others. Can't we be in between? Can't we be sensitive?
You're just an agent.
It's just we are destroying ourselves by feeling guilty. We are destroying ourselves by that.
Yes.
You see? It's a self-destruction. You see, actually, this ego-oriented society came up to a point that when ego became too much, so just to counteract it, you see, you started with the super-ego. And super-ego is that tells, oh, you are such egoistical fellow, and you are no good, and you are so horrid. You will be responsible for Vietnam, for Idi Amin, for all this, that Bokassa. Everybody will identify with, and you will feel guilty. While you are a beautiful person. Either you will feel proud of it and egoistical, or you will feel guilty about it. Now what am I doing? You just think of me also. It's a funny situation. It is not. It's not true. You are neither guilty of anything, nor you are to be proud of it. Because whatever is that. And there is no guilt which God cannot take upon himself. Because you are very sweet people. That's why you are guilty.
But then one comes back to the old question of, why did God create a world which has suffering in it?